his experience a little bit. So, Stu, I'll just let you start off by telling us about a bit of your trading background, anything like that.
Sure, yeah. So I'm name's Stuart Kozola. I've been trading off and on for several years, mostly whenever I can have an opportunity. I mostly started out just kind of trading kind of longer term with just buying and holding stocks, ones I was interested in tracked for a while. And then more recently, after COVID, I actually spent more time kind of studying the markets and learning how to do more intraday trading. I got more into trading options related to that as well. So that's kind of where my history was. I think kind of before taking the course, I understood a little bit of the concepts of supply and demand trading and kind of looking at things, but I was probably too, I think I would say, unstructured in the way I was doing it. So I'd kind of like jump in when I shouldn't have, or jumped out too early in many cases because entry and exit strategy quite as well as like that. So I think the course overall has really kind of helped me identify those areas when I should enter and when I should exit, and also structure more of my trading, and even take a log of it so that I can learn more from past experiences, of when my trade went with me, went against me, why it might have went against me, and how I can learn with it. So the structuring of the course really can help me become a better trader.
Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that because I know a lot of people in our course, they've been trading for a decently long time at least. And you're right, they don't have that structure. They don't really have the why to everything. And I think our course really helps out with that. And it sounds like for you, it's definitely helped you obtain the why as well. Yeah, so as far as the Slack group, the coaching, the course videos, amongst those three things, what do you think has really stood out to you the most that's helped you?
I think all three in different ways have helped me. I mean, I have a full-time job, so doing trading during the day is often hard. So it's kind of when I can pay attention to the markets is when I have the opportunity to. But I think the course itself being self-study, kind of in the first 2 weeks to just go through the course material as I could and get to it on my own schedule was really helpful because I wasn't pressured to get through the course and then start talking to like you or somebody else on the team. I could actually go through the course at my own pace, which I think I did take probably a good week and a half to go through it all, just with my time frame and then to absorb it. But that was great about the course. I think the course has some really good material that I even now still kind of go back to and refine my concepts from time to time. So it's a good kind of learning resource, and even going back to the the Slack channel is actually really good to kind of understand what other people are doing and how they're thinking about things. So you can even post like your trade or your win or your loss and kind of get thoughts and feedback in there, which is great because a lot of times the market will move in a way you weren't expecting, and then you can also get feedback from the Slack channel of how people saw it correctly and you didn't, as an example. So it's a good learning resource. It's also a great resource to just reach out to people and kind of understand, you know, different styles of trading, as well as get feedback and help on different topics as well. And then I'd say the one-to-one interaction, I think the nice thing is kind of giving me a structured plan when we started. Tom was probably one of the best things to do because it focused me to narrow on 4 or 5 stocks, just these. Here's kind of the trading setups and plans. And I think one of the challenges I had was probably just being patient on when I should enter and when I should exit trades, and kind of going through the structured intro course, and the kind of the on ramp with you, kind of forced me to think about it as more of a structured and patient way of going after it. And I think that's what really helped my trade is that I learned to identify the trades much. I learned to identify good trades, not jump in when I shouldn't have. Is really the kind of thing, because before I used to jump in too late, sometimes too early, and then the market would go against you. So I think the course actually kind of helped me identify this is the right setup. I think the course material actually talks about A+ setups in many cases, and just kind of really focusing on trying to identify those has helped my trading a lot. Where before I'd say I was probably doing B or C+ setups from time to time, and in many cases trying to trade because I had time to trade and not trading because the opportunity was actually there.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying all that. Thank you. And the one thing that really stood out to me from what you said is that we do it on your pace. And what I want to get to is, for every student, we tailor our strategy to what works for them. And yeah, if we have to give you certain times, a certain amount of time on certain aspects, we will do that. And like I tell a lot of my students too, is definitely treat this like a college course. Study your videos, take your one-on-one calls, kind of like office hours, right? And then you have to do your hands-on back testing and actual trading. So I'm really glad you said all that and that you're actually utilizing all three of our main aspects of our course. And yeah, the last thing I'll ask you is, as far as your success, I know you've been doing really well the past couple of months. I believe I think went 13-2 the past couple of months, 13 wins, 2 losses, which is really nice.
Right.
In which sector are you trading the most? I think it's tech, if I'm not mistaken, or the indexes.
Yeah, well, so I've actually been trading the indexes the most.
Okay.
So it's been like the SPY, S&P 500, the Qs, so technology, and then also the IWM. So I probably trade more recently. It's been mostly SPY and IWM because I think you can see some good patterns in them emerging for supply and demand. Qs been a little more volatile, so I haven't traded them as much. And then I do have like the Magnificent Seven kind of on my watch list and a few others that I like to follow, like Netflix. And those ones I tend to trade when I see a good pattern forming. But because of the option, I like to trade the zero DTE options because I can get in and out quickly. And then like
Right.
I'll take longer term options for like stocks because they're weeklies or monthlies. But often I usually don't trade them until later in the week when they're a little bit more cheaper, and then you'll know that the pattern's going to hit within the time frame you're looking at. So that's kind of the things that I like to trade, but that's just because I think that's my style. I've had good success with them and following kind of the general markets for SPY and Q. Um, I kind of learned to identify how the market tends to move on a daily basis. So I kind of know that, it's going up right now, but around lunchtime it tends to kind of reverse. So I'll patiently for resistance to be approached and hit, and then I'll jump in at lunchtime, as an example. So those just kind of the ones that I follow, you kind of learn how they're traded, and learn how they move. And then, so for individual stocks, they tend to move more idiosyncratically on their news and their own sector basis. So you have to kind of follow that company more specifically. And I just don't follow them enough to probably do that consistently across multiple companies. So that's why I just choose a few.
Yeah, and look, that's something that we really emphasize too, right? Is picking, your daily watch list should, you know, on my daily watch list, for example, I look at the same 11 stocks every day, and that's what a lot of people do. If you study the same stocks every day, you learn how they move, and they become very very familiar, which definitely gives you an advantage. And as far as I know, we said I think you went 13 into the past couple of months. As far as percentage account growth, do you know how much you've gained so far?
I'd have to actually open that up and look. Let me
Yeah, no problem.
check real quick. So the growth has been, one sec. So yeah, I've only done 13 trades, roughly about one a week, but I think it's been the growth rate's been 13.8% in March so far,
Awesome.
and then 17% in February. So I've only really been trading with you guys February and March.
Mhm.
But yeah, both of them have been above 15%, which I'm very happy with. And only 2 losses in those trades, which I think that's the key thing. Is I've really been trying to be patient with choosing my entries and exits. And there's been a lot of times throughout the day I was like, yep, that was a good setup, but I totally missed it because I wasn't paying attention to the market and working. So there's a lot more I could have taken if I had more time to watch the markets move during the day. But full-time employee, I really don't have that time. So
Right, right, and that's where where me and Stu really connected, was because we both also have our full-time roles on also have full-time roles that we have to tend to. So we definitely know how to balance our time with trading and not trading. So look, Stu, I really appreciate your time here today. This was great, and looking forward to seeing how you progress in the future as well.
me too. It's been great so far.
All right, man. Be good.
All right. Thanks, man.